Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going, everyone? Welcome to episode number 1190. That's right. Episode number 1190 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition. Live today again from Red Morton Park. This is episode number 1190, like I said. And it's also day 22 of the GNA Positivity Challenge. And today we're going to be talking about, some people only accept or learn responsibility in one place. Some people only learn or accept responsibility in one place. And I think for the people out there that have a reasonable amount of common sense, I think that they know where that one place is. Because some people feel like they're above the law. Some people think that, let's just be polite, and we've been toning it down a bit lately. Some people think that their caca doesn't stink. And let me tell you something. Everyone's caca stinks at times. Well, usually, most of the time, right? I've got quite a bit to talk about here today. First of all, that one place is none other than the court of law. That one place is none other than the court of law. Now, just as a quick recap, if you've been following my content lately, our content here at the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short, I am the plaintiff in a circuit civil case, and I have sued another YouTuber that shall remain nameless at this point. I'm really trying to make these streams more about information, and that's where I want to keep them. But other people that know myself, and my girlfriend Dawn is in the chat right now. Hey, babe, respectfully, maturely, and professionally. Hey, babe. Despite what some people may think, when they're, chatting in some other live stream chats and saying that Eli doesn't want Dawn there, I definitely want Dawn with me. And I love Dawn with all my heart. I don't have to prove that to her or anyone. I just think that some people, just have nothing better to say on a Saturday, right? Actually, many people, right? The defendant in my case, I've known him for 8+ years on YouTube. And he's built an audience of people that don't like me. Let's put it that way, haters, right? And over the course of the last 6+ years, he's made some of the content on me. I don't have a problem with people sharing their opinions or disagreeing with me. But when people put out false statements as facts, when people try to paint you as a criminal like he has, and then other creators come in and then they amplify his message, like this one other woman that's been amplifying his message pretty much for the last, I'd say, 6 months. She's been amplifying his message for the last 6 months. Before that, this woman and this man that I'm suing the man, this other woman, used to be a part of our community years ago. Then they parted ways. They couldn't stand each other. But they've always had one thing in common. It's the same audience. They have the same split audience. Well, it's not a split audience. It's the same combined audience of my haters, right? earlier this year, they decided to get back together, per se. And it hasn't been the same since. Now, the case again, if you're new here, I filed it almost 3 months ago in September. I think it was September 3rd. If I remember correctly, it's around the beginning of September. And then the defendant immediately filed a motion to dismiss / anti-SLAPP. And that puts the case in a stay, meaning that the case cannot proceed to the next step, which is discovery and depositions and all that, until the motion to dismiss / anti-SLAPP hearing is resolved, right? And I'm starting it off this way because there are a bunch of things that happened today on not one, but 2 very long live streams that were done by this woman that works very closely with the defendant and helps the defendant massively amplify his message of defamation. In the court of law, they call that acting in concert. And because reality hasn't hit this lady yet that's amplifying the defendant's message, you know, she's even changed her name to the person I'm suing, his YouTube channel's name, and called it the blah 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 concert, because she doesn't want to take it seriously yet, or all she cares about is YouTube theatrics, audience preservation, monetization, validation that people still want to follow her. This woman spent her entire Saturday on 2 streams. One was just about 3 hours. The other, I believe, was a little over 2 hours. I didn't see the end of it. I was listening in the background. And of course, I can't do that, guys. You got to keep going. Yeah, sorry. They asked me if they could be in my vlog, and I said, of course, but it wasn't to them. It was in the context of what I was speaking. So they stopped and I said, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And they're borderline at the COPPA cutoff. So that's too risky. Anyways, I got to keep rolling. But yeah, so one stream, the first one was 3 hours long. The other one was at least 2 hours. I turned it off because I had to get going. I was listening in the background while multitasking. I had a bunch of things to do in the office today, bills to pay, and just other things, right? But some interesting things were said by this lady. Hey, GLM, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Hey, Tia, how you doing? Tia says, hi, Don. Hello, hello. Eli says, Tia, hello. Hi, Tia says, respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Don. Awesome. Welcome to the show. It's great to see you all here, okay? So, this woman spent her entire day running shows about me. Why? Because, in my opinion, and it's probably more than an opinion, but I'll safely say, in my opinion, her entire audience are people that don't like me, and they want Eli content more than anything, and she knows it. So she has to find ways to feed them what they want to keep them around for everything that she's getting. Everything she's getting is validation that these people love her and care about her. She gets some donations out of it every now and then, right? And she's also trying to help the defendant, who has the same audience, keep that audience around, especially since some major things have happened lately I've made people aware that discovery, once it comes, sock accounts will be subpoenaed. We will be unmasking sock accounts that, well, we're going to request it, and we have more than enough to request it. We have to wait for the judge to approve it, but I've got more than enough to unmask sock accounts that are amplifying defamatory statements about me that cause me reputational harm. Let's go line by line what happened today. The woman that's actively working together with the defendant, she lives in the same state as him, Florida, right? And she had the defendant on her panel for at least, I think, a couple hours or so of the first 3-hour show. And they were just talking about the case and the situation and all that, right? And the big deal has been about this January 9th hearing regarding the motion to dismiss / anti-SLAPP. I've been explaining it every single day that hearing date is dead. I now have reason to believe that not only does this woman know it, she's known it all along, but I think now the defendant knows January 9th is dead. Why? Because again, here's what happened. We were scheduled for 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time on January 9th. The court had to cancel the 1:30 p.m. afternoon hearings on January 9th, 2026 due to a court-initiated change. This was not initiated by me. It was not initiated by the defendant. This was initiated by the court. In those situations, there's proper procedure. Most courthouses, they use an automated system called JACS, J-A-C-S. It stands for Judicial Automated Calendaring System. One more time, they use JACS, Judicial Automated Calendaring System. In a situation like that where the court has to vacate or remove one out of the 2 sessions, courts have sessions. They have the morning docket, they have the afternoon docket. When they clear one out of the 2 dockets and they cancel that hearing from one of the dockets in JACS, Judicial Automated Calendaring System, it automatically reschedules it to the next available slot in the opposite slot as a placeholder. That doesn't mean the meeting is actually confirmed. The only person that can confirm, not the meeting, the hearing. That doesn't mean the hearing is confirmed. The only person that can confirm the hearing is the JA, the judicial assistant of the judge, right? To make a long story short, because I've said it many times over the last few days, I made the JA, short for judicial assistant, just JA from here on out. I told the JA I'm unavailable at that time. Can you please give us new dates? She gave us new dates. Never ever once confirmed that 9:30 a.m. morning slot. Never once confirmed it for the defendant or for myself. Now the defendant agreed to it and I didn't. We both have to agree to a court-initiated change unless the hearing time was the same time. It was a different time, so the court's not going to automatically assume that we're both available during that time. I emailed the defendant. He told me he does not agree to a continuance. It is not a continuance when what happened was initiated by the court. I think he understands that now, and I think his audience, by now, maybe they understand that, right? I'm going to prove it to you here today because your supposed partner that you're working in concert with basically blew it for the both of you. She blew it for your audience theatrics. because she said something while you were on her panel, Mr. Defendant, and she said that something to the extent of, Eli better hope that January 9th happens to get it over with before, she said to some extent, before you win this case or something like that. Something like, I don't remember the exact words. I shared it. I shared the quote on my community wall. Give me a second here. I'm going to make this very clear right now. You folks have made opinions about me. You're entitled to your opinions. We don't need to rehash opinions. We're here to talk about defamation, and we're here to talk about harassment. And we're here to talk about abuse of process, malicious prosecution, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. You see, you want to come in here and troll me based off of what was said on that woman's second stream, right? Something that happened 5-6 years ago, something like that, 5-6 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. Okay? That's irrelevant. You have your opinions. Okay? That's totally irrelevant, has nothing to do with what's currently going on. And I'm not mad that you folks have your opinion about that. But it happened a long time ago. And this has nothing to do with defamation. It has nothing to do with intentional infliction of emotional distress. It has nothing to do... I'm going to go this way because I'll tell you, they have loud music going on over there, so I'm going to walk around the park this way. Hey, Louisiana, man, I'm seriously telling you, man, you want to keep coming and doing the same thing, then you'll be getting a cease and desist soon. And if you don't stop after that, then we will sue you civilly in the state of Louisiana. And then we'll also subpoena, like, your wife, so she can let us know, hey, is she aware of your YouTube activities? Can she corroborate what you're doing? Because I bet she has no idea what you're doing, right? So yeah, you want to keep coming in here and troll, you can come in here and troll all you want. And the more you keep on doing dumb stuff, the more you're going to give me an itch to file on you. And I'm not kidding. I'm done. I really don't care. I'm not upset. You keep on pushing my buttons, I will handle you legally because you'll never stop otherwise. Unless you stop, then there won't be a civil suit on you in Louisiana. It's bottom line. You want to put your family at risk and your wife at risk that probably has no clue what's going on? My lady knows everything, and that happened a long time ago, and the way you folks are spinning it, it never happened that way, and I'm done talking about it. Okay? It is irrelevant to what's going on. You see, you're trying to discredit me with that when you folks are doing some pretty nasty and horrible things. You folks went way too far back then, digging into my personal life, reaching out to people that I'm close with. And the reasons why you folks did it wasn't because you cared. All you folks wanted to do is continue to find ways to destroy me and defame me and make me appear like a bad person. That's why we're in court. So, Mr. Louisiana man, unless you want to be in court, stop spreading the same things. Okay? I know it's you. You're the only one that trolls at that level. Now, back to what I was saying, okay? So she mentioned in the stream with the defendant on, it was her stream, the defendant was on with her. Eli better hope that January 9th hearing does happen. Hope it happens. Ma'am, if you were 100% certain that it would happen, you would say, well, Eli's going to have no choice but to show up at that meeting. Or at that hearing, sorry. Eli's going to have no choice but to show up at that hearing. But you didn't say that. You said he better hope. You got caught in a midstream, mid-sentence lie. You know it. Your audience knows it. The defendant knows it. Your cover has been blown. And if you want to try to spin this out of context, and your people that are watching me right now still want to believe the garbage, then that's on them. Yeah, just keep banning Louisiana Man. I'm going to actually talk about everything that he's putting on there. I just don't want to be distracted by him. Tia, Don, can you put a 1 in the chat if you're here and you will immediately ban Louisiana Man on any sock he comes in? Yeah, I was actually planning on addressing everything that he's putting out there. So it doesn't matter. Save your socks, man. Keep your socks clean for another day. Respectfully, maturely, professionally, Don says 1, TS says 1. Okay, so you got caught in a midstream lie. Florida lady that lives in the same state as the defendant, that works actively in concert with the defendant, that amplifies his defamation of me, and far worse, and we're going to get to that, because she seems to have forgotten what she's done. You see, her and the defendant and these other people in their group are trying to say, well, you know, Eli can't take criticism. Oh, I can take criticism. This is beyond criticism. You guys are trying to now cover up the defamation, the harassment, the abuse of court process coming from all ends, the defendant and also the woman that he's working with. And we're going to share what we're going to do about that here as an example for other people to learn how to handle it as well, right? Right? There's absolutely no way this will be able to be spun out of context. And if the people on their end want to believe the garbage they try to do to restate this out of context tomorrow, then you know what? You folks need more help than I initially thought you did. All right, so let's continue here, right? So yeah, January 9th, the defendant and the other woman that he works with, they're the two main creators in the defendant's community. He's number 1, she's number 2. They shared the same audience, and the woman has constantly stated, including today, that they share the same audience. So more proof for acting in concert. Thank you. Thank you for actually stating that you both share the same audience. You do. You're working in concert. And the reason why you're, in my opinion, the reason why you're fighting so hard against me trying to defend myself and end your defamation and more is because, you know, once if I get a protective order to stop his nonsense, you can't survive on this platform without him. Well, you could if you really wanted to try to create something real, but you don't want to. You focus all of your energy on me. And when you don't get half the traction. You don't make half the money. And I can prove that. I've got receipts. I've got everything. Now, many other things happen. Over the last few days, this woman has continued to republish the I believe you embezzled parody video that the defendant made on me, accusing me of embezzlement using my caricature. I can't pronounce that. using my character and likeness in a cartoon caricature. I can't even pronounce it. That word is hard to pronounce. I'm sorry. Call me an idiot. I don't care. Everyone in this audience knows there's a cartoon version of him and a cartoon version of me. But what's even worse than that, he endorses his own video in this woman's chat today and every other time. Today he went in the chat. I've got screenshots of all this. I've got the video down. I've got everything. I've got all that, right? While the video was playing at the beginning of the first stream, the second stream, she didn't play it. Okay. But she used a lot of my content, so she actually deleted both streams, re-uploaded the first one, the Rumble. Maybe she'll re-upload the second one. It doesn't matter. I've got screen recorded copies. The second one, I have everything with the exception of maybe the last 20 minutes or so, but not a big deal. There's already enough. But I got screenshots of the defendant putting 2 notes to the left and 2 notes to the right in a message saying, "I believe you embezzled," while the song was playing on the screen. So he basically put a statement out there, singing it out loud, like gloating, like, "I believe you embezzled." Another interesting situation. This is going to be excellent evidence. Is that when I went in to go to that stream, while she was playing "I believe you embezzled" video within her stream, guess what was recommended to me right below that? The actual original "I believe you embezzled" video. I screenshot that. That is proof that their republication of this is triggering YouTube's algorithm to continuously spread this video. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta. You know what? I'm not even gonna read that. Just ban him. That's gotta hurt. I zapped that one quick. Yeah, I just don't need that. Deliberately hurting me algorithmically, right? After I sent the defendant the notice of correction and preservation, made him aware on October 22nd that this is not true. Please retract and stop repeating this false statement is fact. He has doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down since, and so has the person that he's working actively with in concert, that other woman that did 2 live streams today, and he actually came on both the panels. These people spent all day today trying to do what's called damage control because their facade is coming to an end. Right? And they thought that they were going to be able to tear me down and trigger me and upset me. And they thought that they were going to try to convince their audience to believe what they're saying is true. Listen, I know there are people from that drama group's audience here watching that don't like me. Hey, that's cool. You're entitled to not like me. That's all good. You can like and not like whoever you want. All I'm going to tell you is this. Even you folks right now know that both this man and woman are full of shit, and they've been proven to be FOS. They've been proven to be FOS. They were triggered as hell today. More the woman than the man. I don't care if your husband's an attorney. I'm not even going to read the rest of it. You're getting banned. You can come in here and try to tell me your husband's an attorney and I have no case. I know I have a case. You don't scare me. And you're a sock account. You're nobody credible. Okay? Try again. Keep coming in here on different socks. Give me more views. Right? I'm not triggered. I'm not scared of anything. You're triggered because you're all boxed in and you have nowhere to go. You gave your shit today and all you did was sink further. Right? Now, another thing that happened today, and I'll get to your stuff too, Odie, and I'll probably do 3 laps tonight. I'm on lap number 2. Okay? The defendant made a posting saying that on my stream yesterday I said that if it wasn't for that woman and you working with her, most of what's happening now probably would have never happened. Like this court case and other stuff. I stand tall on that. You took me out of context because that's all you've got. You see, let me translate it to you in the way that I already know you understand it, but also you have to feed it to your audience to make them believe that I'm doing this as retaliation. I'm not doing this as retaliation, and the judge is not going to buy your garbage anyway. Nobody buys your garbage anyway, right? Here's the truth of the matter, okay? The truth of the matter is that regardless of whether this woman influenced you to take the actions you did or not, whether she influenced you to take the actions you took or not, you took the actions, you're responsible regardless. All I was saying was, I don't think you would have done any of what you've done that's put you in the position you're in if it wasn't for her influence. Translation, that is not intimidation. You have nothing. You're trying to scare me, which you're not. You're trying to show your audience that I'm an idiot, which I'm not. Okay? And you're not going to pull a fast one on me. I am much smarter than you, and I'm not trying to even prove that I'm smarter than you. I don't care. I'm not here to compete. But what I can say with certainty, it's a fact, I am a hell of a lot smarter than you are. Because I've outsmarted you every step of the way. You continue to pull stuff that you think you're going to be able to slide past most people, and you probably can slide past most people, but you can't slide that past me. Nice try. So yeah, you took the actions, whether they were influenced by her or not. You took the actions. That's just like her saying, go and beat somebody up. If you go and beat someone up and they press charges and you get arrested, you're going to get arrested, not her. Now, you could try to take her down as an accessory, and that might work. Maybe, maybe not. But definitely, at the very least, if she tells you to go beat someone up that she doesn't like, for example, purposes, and you do it and you get caught, you're going to jail, she's not. Now, again, you could try to bring her down as an accessory, and maybe she will be penalized, but at least you will. Do you understand that? I know you understand the consequences of your own actions, whether they're influenced by other people or not. But you're trying to flip this to your audience in a way that still makes you look like you're the man, like you're dominant, like you own this whole thing. Let me tell you something. This is not a competition. This is not a competition. This is reality. This is court. There's no competition in court. In court, it's all about the facts. Your theatrics will not work with the court. So you took me out of context. You know, file whatever you want. You want to try to file that? I'm not even going to respond to it. I'll wait for the court date because you've already done enough damage between you and that other woman. You've already done enough damage on the docket. I don't have to file every little thing. I'll file what I know Judge Stacy wants to see, and it's not going to be a waste of her time, right? So we cleared that up, okay? What else? What else? Here's a big one. Right? This will corroborate the defendant's community posting. I'm sure he won't file it. He can file it if he wants. He won't. It's stupid. He knows it's stupid. He knows he took me out of context. He's trying to get a reaction, and all he's getting is a response that undermines his BS. No, that undermines the truth and says it's BS. Better way to put it, okay? So, let's get to the big part here. Now, this woman, that you're acting in concert with, the one that did 2 streams a day. Ma'am, you say that I cannot take criticism. You continuously accuse me of not being able to take criticism. I can take criticism. I can tolerate criticism and take it. I will not tolerate being slandered. I will not tolerate being harassed. I will not tolerate any nonsense. I will not tolerate abuse of my content or anything like that. You can talk about me all you want as long as you don't slander me. And you've been actively slandering me every day at a minimal republishing that video. You all have been put on notice. And you're not a party to the case, but you are listed because you're working in concert actively with the defendant, and you've also tried to file some improper filings when you know all you have to do is file a motion to intervene. And more than likely the judge would let you intervene at a minimal capacity. You know that. You know procedure. You know procedure. Don't play dumb. You know procedure, right? There's a reason why this woman has not filed a motion to intervene in the case. There's a reason why. But I'll tell you what, you may want to file one now. It's not going to matter, because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm just going to give it to you straight, teach people a lesson here, because, hey, you folks talked about me for 5 hours today. You're still trying to use my name for algorithmic reach, right? If you're going to say things about me and affect me, I'm going to correct the record for the good people out here. I'm going to correct the record even for your people, because eventually your people are going to be tired of you trying to spin lie on top of lie on top of lie to keep your charade going. Your charade is over. It's over because I say it's over. Because there's nowhere left to go with it besides looking more cuckoo than you already do. Right? So, other things, I'm not even talking about just defamation. You, ma'am, primarily you, but ever since the defendant joined forces with you, he started listening to you because he's done some of the same mistakes you've done. You both have weaponized the court system for content. Let me tell you exactly when we hit discovery, because I'll tell you, there's no way this case is being dismissed. No matter what you're telling your audience, it's not getting dismissed. There's too much evidence, and my evidence is clean, and you guys are all over the place, and you're triggered, and you're going to continue to be more and more and more and more triggered. I'm not. I'm just taking a walk and sharing with my audience the truth, right? You know how many times that you've abused the court process or 911 emergency resources? You're trying to blame other people like ODN and other people for doing the same things that you've done. Now, ODN felt legitimately that there was something going on. He didn't do it to hurt you. But when you made a 911 wellness call to my house over 1 month after a video you saw, a live stream you saw of my lady and I going to the Jason Aldean concert the end of September. The end of September of, I believe, was 2023. And then the beginning of November 2023, I believe it was, you made a 911 wellness check call based on something that you felt was happening over a month prior to that. And when I took you to try to get a restraining order on you because of the same stuff that you've even amped up further today, yes, the restraining order was denied because we live far away. The judge didn't see an immediate issue because we're so far away. But he did mention that that is considered swatting. He basically, the judge That is a fact. It's in the transcript. If you try to sit there and accuse me of defaming you for something that a judge said and is in a court transcript, in this case with the defendant, that's why I put your stuff in there, because you're acting in concert. You accuse me of defaming you for something that's a fact said by a judge, then we'll bring that up too. The judge also said that you sending subpoenas by email and unsigned, not run through the court first. The judge said that's abuse of process. It's also a crime in California. He said that to you. Did you forget that? You didn't forget that. That's 2 instances of you abusing either the court system or 911 emergency resources. You did it for content. Let's continue. But before we continue, when we enter discovery, whenever that may be, when we enter discovery, guess what I'm going to do? You look it up and you want to spin it differently? I know the procedure. I've looked at the procedure. Do you know what a deposition is, ma'am? Do you know what a deposition is? Once we get to discovery, I'm going to subpoena you and depose you in front of a court reporter, and I'm going to ask you questions under oath, under penalty of perjury. And you're going to say, I object to this. What's the relevance? I'm going to tell you what the relevance is. You're acting in concert with the defendant and other people in the group. Let me remind you of what you've done that the court already knows in my second amended complaint with 47 exhibits, but we'll also further know soon, and you'll see. Oh, wow. I got to go around because that's way, way, way too loud. It's way too loud. I forgot. They're having like a big fiesta over here, right? So we're going to subpoena. I'm going to subpoena you and depose you. That'll also give the defendant the opportunity to depose you too. And the relevance is primarily it's those 3 cases. Let me tell you what we're going to do to put it on the record further than it already is, right? We're going to ask you questions regarding 3 stalking cases that you were, in my opinion, directly involved with. Well, not in my opinion, it's more of a fact. But in December of 2023, and these are all in the state of Florida. Isn't that great that all 3 of you live in the state of Florida and this circuit civil case is in the state of Florida? And guess what? Judge Stacy has jurisdiction over all of you. Isn't that great? So we're going to be asking you about December of 2023 when you filed a stalking order on me in your state of Florida, while at the same time, shortly before that, you filed a lawsuit on me regarding my business that you now no longer operate, and you admit that you practically did a troll, right? Now, let's fast forward. Let's fast forward a little bit over a year after that. In April of 2025, and I have proof of this already submitted to the court in my second amended complaint with exhibits. You convinced a woman that Tia knows, her name starts with the letter P. I'm not going to mention who she is. You convinced P to file a stalking order on me. You know how I know that? Because the day before I got served, you were given a copy of what she was serving me, and you gloated on your community wall, and I have the screenshot. I submitted it. You said, "Here you go, Eli. Sheriff should be around soon to serve you," right? That shows coordination, right? You're getting the picture right now. You know exactly where this is going, right? It shows coordination, right? Now, What's the ironic? What's the ironic thing? What's the irony in both of those cases that you filed a stalking order on me and that the woman that you convinced to file and coordinated with, proof was on your community wall. I've got the screenshot already submitted to the court. Both of you failed to appear at the hearing. Both of you failed to appear at the hearing. How's that going to look when I depose you under penalty of perjury? Why did you get that stalking order? Did you coordinate with that other woman behind the scenes to convince her to try to get a stalking order on me under penalty of perjury? I will know if you're lying. The court will know if you're lying. I think the only way that you can save yourself is by lying. Are you willing to perjure yourself? There's no way. Are you willing to perjure yourself? Because I'm going to depose you. I'm going to subpoena you, and I'm going to depose you with a court reporter and under penalty of perjury. Now, there's more. Ironically, during this time, you were still fighting with the defendant. You two used to be friends a few years ago for a little while, then you split up, right? I can even prove that. I have all the videos where he was trashing you, you were trashing him. You're trying to steal his end of the year show, and he was mad about it, and you remember all that? I've got all that. You need me to prove that? I can prove that. So, what happened? I ended up filing 2 Copyright Claims Board cases. I started to stand up for to the defendant for violating my copyright. And then he filed counter notifications. And then I took him to court because I was not going to allow him to play the game of I file a copyright, he files a counter notification, and in 10 business days, YouTube reinstates it, and then he laughs and says, oh, the copyright system, you tried to violate it. Nope, no, we went to court. Right? And those are still unsettled because I have up to 3 years to sue you in federal court. And guess what? Your videos are still down, your channels are still down because I'm still within the statute of limitations. I'm still reserving the right to sue in federal court, but let's get back to that another time. Okay? I sued the defendant in the Copyright Claims Board, and then all of a sudden, he makes up with this woman that he was fighting with. He makes up with her, and next thing you know, I get served my 3rd stalking order within the same group, within the same state, and every single time, who's been the common denominator? This woman. This woman's been the common denominator. Right? And ironically, the defendant who filed this, a lot of the stuff that he wrote in his petition for a stalking injunction was very similarly written as the woman's. The original one, and the person that he's actively working in concert with. So, and now you folks are working so closely together. There's so much proof of that, right? What do you think the judge is going to think when they put it all together? Yeah, those videos are older though, man. And listen, man. I mean, listen. It's all good. I don't want to involve any more people in this than are necessary, ODN. I don't. There's no need to do that. But yeah, I mean, I think every one of those people in that group would throw the other under the bus to save their own ass. That's the truth of the matter. That's a fact, don't you think, ODN? They would throw each other under the bus to save themselves, right? I think it happened this year, bro. Okay, cool. All right. I'll talk more with you behind the scenes. But anyway, put a one in the chat if you want me to do a third lap because I have more to talk about. Definitely they would throw each other under the bus. Of course they would. They all know that, right? Ball tires in the rain. Hey, at the same time as ODN. That way we definitively know they're two different people because they are two different people. Hey, ODN, thank you. TS is one. I'm sure Don's still around too, okay? Oops, sorry. Okay. So those three stalking cases are all similar. Same group of people acting in concert, and they all lead back to coordinating with you, ma'am. The relevance here is the fact that I'm trying to prove to the court, and I have, that the defendant is coordinating with you to continue the ongoing smear campaign, defamation campaign, to file frivolous lawsuits on me. That's why we're in court, and that this is more going to prove my malicious prosecution, my abuse of process, and all that, right? We're talking serious abuse of process here, right? And that's exactly why she will not file a motion to intervene. Ma'am, you will not file a motion to intervene because you know if you do, and even become a limited party in this case, you're open to discovery, and you are also opening up yourself to sanctions. You're opening up yourself to, everything. A potential protective order, anything else, right? You know what you've done. These are all facts. These are all factually documented, right? The defendant's stalking petition was denied for insufficient evidence. That enough is alone to file for malicious prosecution. In addition, me deposing this lady to prove that this was all coordinated, acting in concert, will further show abuse of process and further solidify malicious prosecution. Now, that's what I was saying yesterday, Mr. Defendant, that the fact that you continue to, associate with this woman, that's up to you. You can associate with whoever you want. But the fact that you continue to, I guess, put your trust and faith in what she thinks should be done, that's what's gotten you in this position, because you've actually done the things that she's told you, in my opinion. I believe her influence, in my opinion, is what's gotten you to do these actions. What matters, sir, is what you've actually done. What matters is what you've actually done. Not whether she's told you to do it or not. I, in my opinion, that I'm entitled to, I'm pretty sure, not 100%, stating his opinion, I'm pretty sure, though, that she influenced you to do all this. And you know exactly what I was saying, and you know I'm right. You don't want to admit I'm right, but you know, if you could just take everything back before you joined forces with her earlier this year, you're thinking to yourself, wow, am I really in this mess because of her? In my opinion, yes. You did whatever you've done to put yourself here, whether, again, it was influenced by her or not, is irrelevant. You do the crime, you do the time. Now, that's a figure of speech, right? That's a figure of speech. I am not saying you've committed a crime. I'm not saying that, but you have violated me civilly. And you've accused me of crimes in the past and in the present. And by the way, again, to you people that don't understand, defamation is a 2-year statute of limitations in Florida, and I believe in California too. So the only thing that you can get relief on are things that happen within the statute of limitations. What you don't understand, go look at the law, is that you can use defamation references as far back to create a pattern of harassment. You can't get relief for it, but I can share what happened 6 years ago when this guy tried to he tried to paint me, or try to convince another creator to paint me as a pedo. He tried to paint me as that, right? And let me tell you something. You're trying to say, well, I never called him one. Well, I don't remember. I haven't seen everything. ODN has told me he has heard you say that. I haven't heard you say that. If he has heard you say that, I haven't seen every piece of content you've done. There was a period of time where I wasn't paying attention to you for many months, right? But here's the thing. What's worse, calling somebody the P word or calling someone directly a P word, or trying to get a group of people to paint him as one? That's much worse. You tried to use a paranoid, manic, schizophrenic man and a 12 or 13-year-old boy back then to go to another creator and tell that creator, Manosphere T-Spill, that you want to play a prank on me and have them put out that I'm the P word. The worst part was he got a 13-year-old boy to do it. Yeah, well, here's the thing. He was conspiring behind the scenes, and he admitted that in 2 videos that are still publicly available on his BitChute channel, which I've also downloaded and re-uploaded to my private server, and I've submitted to the court both links, his BitChute links, and also, in case he takes them down, doesn't preserve them, I always have a backup. Always have a backup with these people. They'll delete shit, right? Even though they're not supposed to, they will delete it. Now, if you want to delete something to protect your channel, and then you have a backup and you want to send it to me, like, here's the thing. Today, that woman deleted her first stream. She's now invested in this case. And I've asked the defendant in many filings to preserve evidence from him and people he's associated with. So it is not spoliation of evidence, because she re-uploaded the video to Rumble and the video is preserved. Now, she took another video down tonight. Will she re-upload that to Rumble? Let's see. If she doesn't, even though I've got a screen recorded copy, I have everything but the last 20 minutes. If she doesn't, then I can request that through discovery. I can file a motion to compel production of evidence, because she has the full version of StreamYard, and StreamYard automatically records in the cloud a backup full HD version of all of your streams. So she's got a copy, right? But hey, I'm being fair here too. Okay? Hey, she deleted it from YouTube because she didn't want to get taken down for copyright or bullying or harassment, right? Okay, I get that. Re-uploaded to Rumble, that's preserving the evidence. Thank you for that, by the way. I can be fair. I am fair, right? ODN, let me know. I'm a fair guy, right? I'm a fair broker, right? So I'm telling you this 100%. When this case goes into discovery, I'm going to be subpoenaing people and deposing them. And don't go live and say, oh, Eli doesn't have the money to have a deposition. Oh, I do. Trust me, I do. And let me tell you something. Even if I didn't have the money, there are people here that would loan me or even give me the money that really care about what's right. I wouldn't ask them for it, and I don't need it. But we're going to start deposing people. And this woman that's tried to intervene in this case without properly filing a motion to intervene, she has not properly requested leave of court. And the reason why is because she doesn't want to be on the hook for full-blown discovery and sanctions and all of that. And everything that you've done, ma'am, in my opinion, I'm going to say it safely, in my opinion, is all for YouTube tricks, audience preservation, right? Look at how many people you have in your chat when you're talking about me. Look at how many people you have in your chat when you talk about me and when you don't. Okay? You could put whoever you want on your panels. You could sit there and whine and complain all day, every day. You could even do it about me. But stop saying lies about me. Stop defaming me. Stop harassing me. If you're going to use content, use small clips under fair use. Like, quite honestly, I had no problem with that stream earlier. The one from the, I believe it was on the main channel, right? The one where I had the panic attack, right? The one where you were all talking about my sponsor, that's irrelevant. My sponsor is irrelevant. What does that have to do with any of you? You see, here's the thing. What happened between my sponsor and I and all that, how does that concern you folks? It's almost like you folks were looking to find something, anything to try to just continue your charade of painting me as a criminal or as a bad person, because that's what your audience wants. That's over and done with. No one cares about that. But you keep on recycling this stuff like it means something. You folks have not grown. It's the same audience. You will never grow because you're stuck on stupid on the same stuff. And now you're in court over this, and you're still stuck on stupid. Like, folks, you tell me in the chat, am I out of line here? And listen, I'm actually really calm about this. This is me with passion. People know I have a lot of passion. I'm very passionate. Am I out of line? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Let me ask you, Tia. I already know Dawn's answer. Tia and ODN. When I update you on this stuff, my lady even answered. I'm trying to not overwhelm my lady because I've already told her all this, right? But even my lady is still here supportive, even though I'm like, baby, I already know your answer. You don't have to waste your keystrokes or anything like that. You don't have to waste your energy on me. You ain't wrong, said ODN. Not at all. Let the truth be told. Well, thank you, Tia. I appreciate that. I really do. I really, really do. Let the truth be told. All you folks had to do was stop the charade. You amped it up. You keep amping it up. You folks didn't know, or you folks didn't think that when the judicial assistant sent that email and reply to the email I sent her, you folks didn't know that I knew what you were going to do. Spin that out of context into saying January 9th is happening, even though I know the woman at least knew all along. But now I definitely know the defendant also knows, at least by this point, maybe by yesterday, that January 9th is not happening. So let me ask you this, Mr. Defendant. Public platform, it's a public case, it's a civil matter. I can talk about this, I'm being respectful, I'm not attacking you, I'm not defaming you, I'm not even mentioning your name or anything like that. But let me ask you this. How are you going to explain to your audience when that date is changed? And do you not realize that the longer that you and that woman you're acting in concert with continue to fabricate this, when it actually does change and you have to schedule a different hearing, and hey, if you still want to schedule that hearing in March, we have until this Wednesday for you to send me an email and agree. Because if you don't, then those hearing dates are given to someone else, and we may be looking at April before this happens, right? And at some point, if you don't choose a date and you continue to intentionally delay this, then I will file a motion to compel a response to the judge. And I will make that an emergency filing, because at that point, we're going to be looking at, God, we're 3 months into this. We're looking at, let's see, we're looking at December, January, February, March, April will be 5 months. At that point, we'll be 8 months into this case without you even having had responded to the complaint, because we're still on a stay due to the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP. At some point, you're going to have to agree to a hearing. And if you don't, I will compel you to a hearing. And at that point, Judge Stacy may just say, we're having this hearing, or I'm ruling on the papers. And she'll throw out your MTD, motion to dismiss / anti-SLAPP. My best advice to you is to email me back and accept one of those dates. And who knows, based on my last email, the JA might have already given them to somebody else. You tried to bypass my spam filter and ask if nobody cared about my former friend Troy. Why were there 60 people in there? Because these people are lonely, miserable people that have nothing better to do on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday all day than jerk around on YouTube. Correct me if I'm wrong, babe. Sandra, well, Sandra's not here, probably. Dawn, Tia, ODN, correct me if I'm wrong. These people have nothing better to do than anyone that makes content on me, regardless of what they say. They could say, hey, Eli walked backwards today. Eli breathed in air today, right? They're still blasting music in there, so I'm going to walk around for my last lap. Oh, I'm going to walk around my last lap. You see what's happening here? Those same 60 people are going from stream to stream to stream, right? I'm not here to be a part of any drama chain. I'm not here for that. You are their life's purpose. I am. It's bizarre. It's bizarre, right? So, yeah, you can look, every time that this is not only for the defendant makes a few postings, I can easily correct the record on that. This woman he's in concert with, this other woman, and I've been in many lawsuits with her, 2 filed by her, 1 filed by me. She's the one, in my opinion, that's a vexatious litigant, right? We're going to figure out, she's not a party to the case, at least not yet. But the bottom line is, I can depose you. I can bring you in as a witness and depose you and put it on the record and put it right in front of the judge that you maliciously filed a stalking order on me and you maliciously abused the process by convincing 2 other people to do it. I've got all the proof. I've got the transcripts. I've got the dismissal forms. I've got the original case filings. I got everything. You have seen my second amended complaint with 47 exhibits. That's why it's that long, right? That's why you're in 80 pages of my factual allegations, because you've been working in concert with the defendant. And the filings I made, the supplemental filings and the notice of filings and supplemental notice of filings that I filed, corroborate everything in my complaint. He abused the process by using the service as entertainment for his audience. Yeah, I was going to get to that. So another abusive process is that. Oh, another thing I'm gonna ask you to the lady, right? And I'm also going to ask the defendant this at the same deposition. Defendant, listen up, because you played the system. It's obvious to me you played the system because you filed your petition on June 3rd, 2025. I'm trying to remember the dates in my head. I think I got them exact. June 3rd, 2025, you filed your petition for a hearing that was supposed to happen on June 20th. They do need me present for the anti-slap, Louisiana man. So just keep banning him. I just don't even need to respond to garbage nonsense, right? So so the defendant in this case filed a stalking injunction on me on June 3rd, 2025 for a scheduled hearing of June 20th, 2025. I think it served until June 23rd, 2025. So the sheriff comes to the house, serves me papers for a stalking injunction hearing I was supposed to be at 3 days before I got served. Now, what do you think happened there? Did he forget to serve me on time? Was he thinking about whether he wanted to go through with this or not? Or did he plan it? In my opinion, did he plan to serve me late so that way he can have more YouTube theatrics? I think the latter is more suitable for him. I'm going to ask you under penalty of perjury, defendant, what happened? Why did I get served 3 days after? Why did I get served 3 days after the hearing I was supposed to be at? You went to the hearing and you basically told the judge that you couldn't serve me. The truth of the matter is you served me late on purpose. You wanted more content for YouTube. That's what you want. I will ask you under penalty of perjury. That's abuse of process. That's going to further prove my abuse of process claim. You then got the date changed to July 17th. And then you in my opinion, it should be a fact, and then you got together, you conspired with that woman to use the same process server that she served me on the business case she sued me on, trying to steal my business a couple years before that. You hired the same process server, had him drive 500 miles. Yeah, he said he was going to be up in the area he was helping someone move, which is why he had a U-Haul. Whether I believe that or not, I don't know. You hired him, and then you took the process server footage and brought him on your stream 5 days after your stalking injunction case on me was dismissed for insufficient evidence. You brought on the process server, He showed his face. He confirmed his identity. I have that video. It's submitted in one of my 47 exhibits on my second amended complaint. You showed the process server video. I have a reasonable expectation of privacy on that. Also, I did not give him permission to record me. He said he doesn't need it. For video, he doesn't. For audio, he needs it. You as well know, sir, you've said it yourself, that in California and Florida, it's a two-party state. I'm going to ask you, do you understand, Mr. Blah, 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 that in California and in Florida where you're at, both states where we're at, that in order to record audio of someone for any reason, you need their consent. It's a two-party consent state. You knew that, then why did you play the process server video? You weaponized it for content, and you weaponized it for money, and if anything, you accusing me of retaliating, you're the biggest retaliator on the planet. And what do you think the judge is going to think when she sees your behavior compared to mine? If you agree, not only is the defendant the biggest hypocrite on the planet, he's the biggest retaliator, and then he projects and says, oh, you're retaliating on me. No. You're the one that retaliated. You brought him on the stream. You used the process server footage. That's abuse of process. That's partially why you're in this case. All of my causes of action, all of them are valid. All of them. Malicious prosecution, abuse of process, defamation of character through the roof. You guys keep amplifying that embezzlement video and that story. You guys keep playing that narrative. And you all know it's horse shit. You all know it's horse shit. You do. And what do you think this all boils down to? It's caused me a lot of intentional infliction of emotional distress. Between you, defendant, and the woman that you started to work with again, between the two of you, you've caused this for yourselves. Because you care more about how the YouTube audience you folks have perceives you. You care more about that than the court. The court's going to see that. And believe me, this case is moving forward one way or another. You can comply, sir. You can send me an email and agree to one of those March hearing dates, and we move this forward. Or, if you don't, and it passes Wednesday, at that point, I'm going to try to, again, probably request ruling on the papers or something to do with an incooperative defendant. My best advice to you, I don't want to talk with you any other way unless I have to through email. I don't trust you. You record people. I don't want to call you. This is my communication. I know you're watching. My suggestion to you is set that hearing and let's get this thing rolling in March. Swallow your pride. Your own audience is going to destroy you. You're letting a false perception of reality from your audience hold you back from doing the right thing that's going to cost you more in the long run. Wow, man. I swear, dude. And you could try to spin it all you want. That's all you do. You spin things to try to make yourself always look as the winner in front of your audience when everyone else that has half a pea brain despises your behavior. And the judge is going to see that too. It's only a matter of time. So do the right thing. Do the right thing. It's like a Stepford show. The women stumble around like they missed rehearsal while the defendant struts like it's Broadway and they all clap anyway. Right. This is why the guy continues to be so spoiled and entitled, in my opinion, because these people continue to validate his shitty behavior. They're validating his garbage behavior. If all these people abandon him, he would probably finally learn, right? But if you have people around that are validating this dumb shit, it's never going to change. That's why we're in court. Because all his life, in my opinion, he's been validated that everything he's doing is right. And no one does everything right. We all make mistakes. We're all human, For Christ's sake, we're all human. We're at 80 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes. I'm going to walk around here for another 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to go home to my lady. Let's turn on the front facing camera with the light. So, yeah, to remind you, defendant, your partner, I'll call her your partner, business partner, YouTube partner, community partner, however you want to call it, respectfully, right? Your partner gave you up today. Maybe that was a slip, right? A Freudian slip, right? I've had that happen to me a few times in the past. I get it. She had a Freudian slip, right? She said something that gave away a tell to the fact that she knows. And now, because she knows, you heard her say it. She said that, Eli better hope that hearing happens. Or Eli should hope that hearing actually happens, right? Why would there be hope if you already knew that it was guaranteed to happen? You basically just showed your cards. There's no recovery from that. You can't spin that to your audience tomorrow. You can't spin that. You cannot spin something so obviously wrong. You know you made that mistake. You know your theatrics were called out. You know you're lying to your own audience, and you know it. And if these people in your audience have any self-respect, they will question you on that. And if they don't care if you made a mistake, then that's on them. We are back live. We are back live. There were some kids over there. They see the camera and they start shouting. So I went the other way. Background noise. Start getting your final questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in just a few minutes. The whole setup looks like a Stepford production. Messy stagehands. One starts overreacting, and the audience pretending it's perfect. Yeah, I mean, Judge Stacy's going to see this is all for YouTube content. It's like, look, they can't pull the same thing in court. Right? Today was all performance by the woman running 2 streams, and it was a performance by the other guy. It's all performance, right? It's all performance to keep that audience around. And the people in that audience, maybe they have nothing better to do on a Saturday. I certainly do. I was listening in the background for one reason. It's all for evidence. That's all I care for. I was doing other things. I was very productive, so it was done. But yeah, I was listening and screen recording because I'm going to use everything I possibly can for evidence. Every mistake they make is being documented in chronological order for the court. And here's the thing. Here's the thing they don't understand. Here's the thing they don't understand. This is the real kicker here. You folks tell me what you think. My lady says, respectfully, maturely, professionally says, surround yourself with people who push you to grow, not those that drain you. Good night, everyone. Surround yourself with people who push you to grow, not those that drain you. Good night, everyone. Hey, babe, did you hear that clearly? I agree. All right. Well, who? Oh yeah, you're back. Yeah. How you doing? Here's the thing. You want to know what the biggest kicker is? My lady's here, respectfully, maturely, and professionally. You know what the biggest kicker is? The biggest kicker is the fact that everything they do gets documented in this case. And guess what? They can't erase that. A court record is permanent. A court record is permanent, and anyone can go and see the public files long after the case ends, regardless of what happens, right? Right? See, these people are all about, doing dumb shit for content, right? Defamation for dollars, right? Talking smack about people, right? Right? They're all about that, right? They're all about that, right? And then at the end of the day, they want to do all these crazy things, defame people, harm people in many different ways with their content, make their money, and go home with no repercussions and like nothing ever happened. And you know what? Until people started standing up to this group of people, that's what they were doing. Now, people are standing up. Granny's Watching Jess got a restraining order, right? Right? And there have been many other things. I'm not going to go through everything, but there have been other people that have taken action to stop the dumb shit this group's done. If they don't stop after this, they're going to continue ending up in court. And it's just going to keep getting worse for them. Right? Maybe this time they'll learn their lesson. Because you're not going to outlast me. You're not going to outlast me. You aren't going to outdo me on YouTube. You're not going to outdo me in the case, because I'm here for the right reasons, and I'm in court for the right reasons, and I'm handling things respectfully, maturely, and professionally. And your charade of defaming people for dollars, anyone in this group that does defamation for dollars content, your game is over. You know what? People that are so sure about winning, don't go to the other side and say when the other guy wins. You know why? You know why you're coming here trolling and saying when the other guy wins the anti-slap? It's because you're scared that he's going to lose. Or you're him and you're scared you're going to lose, right? Here's the thing. People that are cool, calm, and collected, they state the facts. And they're like, yeah, hey, I'm ready to go to trial. I'm ready to go to discovery and subpoena whatever I need, subpoena witnesses, get quarter subpoenas against stock accounts that are defaming me with a mask on, acting in concert with the defendant and the other person that he's acting in concert with, primarily that woman in Florida, right? I'm ready to roll, right? I'm not saying, hey, I'm not sitting here gloating saying, I'm going to destroy you guys. I don't have to say that. I'm going to let the court do its job. I'm going to let the record speak for itself. Right? You don't see me saying all that stuff. You know why? Because I am confident you're not. I'm so sorry, Mr. Louisiana man, that your group of nonsense that keeps you occupied during your miserable days at your house is being dismantled legally by this case, as they should be dismantled for their defamatory behavior. And their smear campaign. They continue to smear me every single day, right? So yeah, depositions, the moment we hit discovery, I'm filing a subpoena. I'm just letting you know. You can cry to your audience all you want tomorrow, man. This is a public stream. This is a public case. We're public figures, and I'm being respectful. I'm not saying anything wrong or negative. I'm not threatening you. I'm promising you. I'm telling you right now. Be prepared. You will be the first one I subpoena. And both the defendant and I will get to depose you. And yes, I have the money for deposition. Don't go to your audience tomorrow and say, the defendant cannot subpoena an opposite party witness. Well, I sure can. Either one of us can subpoena you. If he subpoenas you, that's great. If he doesn't subpoena you, I'm going to. If he doesn't subpoena you for depositions, I'm going to subpoena you for depositions. I'm making this very clear and concise before I go off the air. So when you do talk about this tomorrow to your audience, right, You can let them know that you're going to have to answer to those 3 stalking cases. You were all involved. You were involved in every single one of them. The relevancy is you acting in concert with the defendant. My relevancy, before you question, I have no relevancy. Let me make it clear, man, before you spin nonsense to your audience. My relevancy for subpoenaing you as a witness for deposition is to further show how you're acting in concert with the defendant and how you are helping him tremendously to harm me. Oh, as far as ODN goes, let's talk about ODN real quick. ODN was confused yesterday, and I was a little confused too. What ODN was saying, the document that ODN gave me and I uploaded, you will all see it on the docket on Monday or Tuesday. And again, the court does not file things right away. Sometimes it takes more than a day, but no more than 2 days. It takes about 1 to 2 days, 1 to 2 business days for the court to have the clerks approve the files to go public. The defendant's already been automatically served. The defendant gets automatically served whenever I file something right away, and same with him. We get automatically served the moment it's filed through the My Florida portal system. Yeah, you know what? It might actually be him. It might. Is he on a VPN? Yeah, I don't think he has that many stock accounts. I think, listen, the defendant is not as tech savvy as the person in Louisiana. Oh, you know what, ODN? You know that woman played most of your stream last night, right? They're trying to discredit you as a witness, right? Not going to happen. That does remind me of the defendant a lot. I still think it's Louisiana man, because Louisiana man knows how to buy. It's become much more difficult, as you know, DN, to make stock accounts nowadays. And the defendant doesn't have the tech savviness to do it at that level. That's why I think it's Louisiana man. He's pretty tech savvy, like myself. I'll give him that. Yeah, they don't want me to show up as a witness, but I'm definitely going to be there, bro. I know, yeah. So there you hear it from ODN. These people are saying, well, ODN would have to show up and corroborate that statement. Of course he is. And we need to have a chance to cross-examine him. Of course you will. You can cross-examine him. You can cross-examine Don. You can cross-examine anyone that witnesses for me. You can cross-examine anyone you want. You have my full blessing for that. ODN, are you ready for the defendant to cross-examine you? Boy. Or his supposed attorney that may be store-bought by Silicone, right? the defendant said that Silicone is bribing the judge or something. Like, I didn't say that. I'm just repeating what the defendant put in the chat. You know, I can't believe the guy said that. You'll see it in the filing when it hits the docket on Monday. I showed up to your last court date, but they didn't let me witness. I was ready for your last court date, but they just kept me behind the screen. They never let me witness. Well, nobody, listen, ODN. You're talking about Judge Bowie. You're talking about the stalking injunction that the defendant in this case that I'm suing him tried to get on me, right? Judge Bowie didn't want to waste your time, other witnesses' time, the court's time. Judge Bowie knew. Before that case even probably started, Judge Bowie knew it was bogus. Judge Bowie could tell the difference of my demeanor compared to the defendant's demeanor in this. Well, he was the plaintiff in that case. He was the petitioner in that case. I was the respondent, right? petitioner, plaintiff, respondent, defendant, right? Judge Bowie could tell the demeanor was so far off. The guy tries to say that he's trying to accuse me of sexually harassing his mother, and Judge Bowie says, "Do you know what sexual harassment is?" I was on Microsoft Teams, and I kept a straight face, but in my head I'm like, "Oh my God, this is ridiculous, man." I have never, ever come across anyone that's so oblivious. And he tries to flip it and say, "I'm the oblivious one." No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Hey, you know what? I'll give you some advice. You should get out and take a walk every now and then. It actually would kick in those endorphins, right? I was on Microsoft Teams as well, but they never called anybody. I will be there again on Microsoft Teams. Well, here's the thing. At the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP, there's going to be no witnesses, not necessary. It's all based on the four corners of the complaint. Is my complaint valid? And that's it, right? And also, you know, the judge's going to say, and the judge will see if his freedom of speech complaint is valid. It's not. He's 100% defaming and constantly amplifying defamation. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind that the anti-SLAPP is going to be tossed. As far as the motion to dismiss, the judge might trim some of the causes of action, but I think all of them have a really good chance of surviving. The only one that's really, really hard, and I'll give this to the defendant. He did mention this. I will agree. Even though I do feel the emotional distress, it's been very, very emotionally draining and distressing for me, right? But that's very, very hard to prove. The judge might trim one or two of the causes of action and let the case proceed, and then, you know, only partially deny the motion to dismiss, but not completely, and then completely deny the anti-SLAPP. Anti-SLAPP is getting denied. No doubt about it. The MTD, the motion to dismiss, not fully denied. Maybe trim one or two of the causes of action, but the case survives. Either way, we're moving forward. We're heading to discovery. It's all good. 97 minutes, an hour, and 37 minutes, now an hour and 38 minutes. 42 in the box. Thank you. And I guarantee you the judge won't ask me to shut up like the judge asked the defendant to shut up at your, "Oh, I heard your court case. That was funny." Like, honestly, the guy, the defendant, no disrespect, it's just the truth. The defendant is an emotional wreck. He's like a ticking time bomb. He cannot, you know what? It's funny. He says, "I can't handle criticism." You can't handle criticism, man. You can't handle, here's the thing. You can't handle the truth. The thing is, you live a lie as your entertainment, right? You live a lie as your entertainment. But when people call you on the truth like me, right, and then go to court because you live a lie instead of accepting the truth, you can't handle the truth. You can't. You just can't handle the truth, right? Your behavior of the last 8+ years is the same. You haven't changed. You're 32 when I met you. You're 40 now. You haven't changed. You haven't grown up. You're 40 years old and you haven't grown up, man. Now we're going to see if 50 will change him. Or maybe this case will change him. Who knows? But it's time to go. I have now walked almost 4 miles at the park. Damn. I got a good walk in tonight. Yeah, taking the walk, kicking those endorphins, burning the calories. Do do do. Do 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 do. All right. Final thoughts, folks. Get your final questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. Once again, I said that like 30 minutes ago, but now I mean it. Later says ODN, he can't handle the truth, so the facts. He can't handle the truth. That's the facts. That's why he ran off on that woman's stream that he works in concert with. When she started showing how he lied towards the end, he just substitutes reality for his own imaginings. Oh no, he does it for content. Oh, Deanne, that's the thing you folks don't understand. He substitutes reality as his online persona to keep the audience around and to keep getting donations from them. That's all it boils down to. That makes him more pathetic than actually being a delusional person. I don't think he's delusional. I think it's his act. It's his act, and his act is how people have perceived him to be, and if he changes his act, then they'll see who he really is. Now, you and I already see who he really is, right? But his people think his act is who he really is. But yeah, they'll have a wake-up call soon. They're going to all have a wake-up call. But anyways, I got to go. We're leaving 44 in the box. 8 thumbs up. Please smash a thumbs up. Please share this out. 101 minutes, an hour and 41 minutes. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other. Oh, yeah, cognitively. Yeah, cognitive dissonance. I think he's insane, dude. Think he's definitely delusional. He wouldn't be doing what he's doing if he wasn't. He's risking a lot. And I mean a lot. Yeah, he doesn't understand. Like, he doesn't understand the severity of this case and how much he and that other woman have completely just oh my God. I don't even know what the right word is to say anymore. It's like, I mean, I don't know. You can destroy something pretty badly, but this is beyond destruction. Like, this is beyond destruction. I don't see any recovery from this. I really don't. But all that's going to happen in the meantime, until they're stopped by the court with a protective order, they're going to keep on amping it up because that's the only thing that keeps their audience around, right? They're going to try to keep spinning things. And guess what? The more and more they keep trying to spin things, the more and more I will correct the record. All right, now I'm going to definitely go. Good night, says ODN. Thank you. Good night, Tia. Good night, my lady Dawn. I'll be home soon. My love, I got a little surprise. I'm going to surprise you. I may be calling you in about 10 minutes, my love, 10 to 12 minutes, okay? Stand by. Have a good one. 1 hour and 42 minutes, almost 1 hour. And about to turn to 1 hour and 43 minutes. Have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Hopefully, no, probably will be from Red Morton Park. Don, I had the podcast to record tomorrow, episode number 36 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. So it's going to be a tight day. I'll get a walk in here probably at Red Morton tomorrow as well. Have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.